You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl. You know there's zombies on the prowl, and it's terror time again. They've got you running through the night. It's terror time again, and you just might die of fright. It's a terrifying time.
Hello everybody, we're coming back with a twist on a mod I've featured before. That's right, the Backrooms are coming back to the forefront with a brand new and improved version, featuring 3 separate levels that could trap you for all of eternity, leaving you in an endless abyss of halls, mazes, and corridors of various shapes and sizes, just filled with other failed survivors who clipped into this broken piece of reality. Can you find your way out? Well, thanks to Erin and Redfire, you'll have the opportunity to. Now let's see if we can together. But before I begin, I'd like to thank Foxfire for a lovely artwork. Go check her out on Twitch if you get the time, and I'd like to thank you all for the support on the channel. Now let's wander these halls, shall we? Before I begin, I'd like to discuss some of the problems this mod has. There is way too many zombies even on normal survivor settings. I'm talking enough to cause massive lag spikes or even crash the game, which happened to me in one case. And I haven't seen lag like this while even fighting hordes in Louisville. Honestly, if you want to play this mod, turn down your population settings. Your sanity and your computer will thank me. And I know it's not my device because my computer has a 2090 RTX in it with plenty of RAM. It should not be lagging like this. Not to mention the extreme amounts of zombies in such a cramped place means more often than not, you're just going to eat shit and die. Hell, I've even spawned in a room with one coming from behind already after me. One thing I preferred in the original mod is that it would spawn you in a cleared out area, giving you some time to walk around, loot, and find your bearings before tossing hordes upon you. But I do appreciate some of the new things this version brings to the table. Now let's discuss the mod proper, shall we? This level could be quite grating, and not because it's irritating, but because the world is metal grate walkways, brick pillars as far as the eye could see, with running water all around. That's right, this is a sewer level. This place is dark, dank, and foreboding, but this in my opinion is the safest level, as it holds a smaller zombie population than the levels that come after. This place is a maze, with random piles of hardware and school loot all around, either in lockers, cardboard boxes, or metal shelves. This place can also hold quite a bounty. If you can get lucky enough to find fishing supplies or use some planks and a knife to carve some spears, you can use the water around you to fish for supplies and either boil the water in a campfire, or if you can, locate a well for a source of clean drinking water. This level also provides numerous methods to sleep, such as hospital beds and tents. So if you can secure a well and a bed, get some fishing supplies, you could subsist endlessly down here. Now keep in mind, while I did say the population down here is smaller, if you happen to approach a staircase that'll lead up top to the next level, keep in mind this can and will cause hordes to flood down and approach you, and you'll be forced to take them on the narrow, tight corridors, which are even more cramped than the back rooms above. Make your decisions though. Will you be content to live down here scavenging for meager scraps and scraping up a living, or will you press upwards into the back rooms proper and fight for survival and the possibility of escape? Now let's explore level 2, shall we? Level 2, the Backrooms. This is the familiar Backrooms, but things are not entirely how we left them now, are they? No, things can never be that simple. And this Backrooms has a much more varied and random layout of corridors and pathways, filled with many dead ends, empty rooms, and hordes of the undead. But fear not, for there's also lots of signs of life. Maybe of your fellow survivors who became trapped in this hellscape and succumbed to the hordes. But what remains of their homes, their supplies, they are now yours. Seek out the supply stashes, as well as what the Backrooms is willing to provide to stay alive. This level is much more dangerous than level 1, as the horde count here is much higher and they are rowdy, ready to skin you alive and consume your flesh. You better be ready to fight for every ounce of space and given these are rather tight corridors, there's no shame in retreating back into the foundation to clear some room and pick off the zombies. This area does get quite ridiculous, and you may have to fight hundreds before you can even get any real room to breathe up here. But if you can persevere and fight onwards, you can eventually find an entrance to the third and final level of the Backrooms, and you may just make it out of here alive. That is, if you chose the version of the mod that has an escape, because there's actually two versions. The other version traps you here forever and you just have to make do with what's here. The third and final level, a world where everything is a blackened void with neon lights and floating orbs that act as illumination. While a cool concept, this area is also the most boring, as black tiles with neon strips makes for a cool club aesthetic, but a boring world to just have to explore, especially when you've been running for a long ass time on end, and you eventually just resort to scaling over the walls to break reality even further. While there is some random farms that serve to break up the monotony up here and provide some possibility for food crops, the other issue is due to the amount of zombies that are going to be down below, and there are none on this level. This is where the game starts to chug the worst, as you're not actively clearing out the horde like when you're on level 2. And this is where my game gave up the ghost and just died on me, crashing hard. And I waited several minutes for it to recover, but with no success, which pretty much wrapped up my time with the mod, unfortunately, as I just did not feel like going back into it. Overall, while this mod is interesting and it definitely has its merits, especially as I like the 3 different floors in this version rather than several of the same floors that were featured in the previous variant of the Backrooms, the sheer size of the hordes makes it unenjoyable at times, especially when you're spawning with them right on top of your ass. Personally, I believe there's some good promise here though, especially if the 3rd level was improved a bit more, make it more interesting and varied to explore rather than just a textureless void. Or maybe add a few more levels with this essentially being a rest area. I think there's a lot to like and going for this mod. Overall though, Erin Redfire, you've done some nice work. If you can find a way to tune the zombies in this area just a bit, because I know certain regions can be set to spawn less, or at least make it so your spawn room isn't instantly assaulting you with zombies, I'd be more than happy to continue playing this mod, especially on stream. I think this just about wraps up everything to do with this mod, however. I hope you've enjoyed, and like usual, I'd like to give a shout out once again to the lovely Foxfire. Please go watch her on Twitch. She's an awesome, fun streamer. I'd also like to thank each and every one of y'all for the support on the videos, especially those names listed on the screen right now in the credits. This has been Core. I'll see you next time. Stay safe, everyone.